system. The current system is over 20 years old and is unreliable. It no longer holds its prime. It's time. We need to replace this irrigation system if we want to maintain the turf at the golf course. We are also proposing an annual contribution of $50,000. These will go toward bunker and tee box renovations. We'll put these into a project and start targeting some of the most needy holes first, most needy areas, and then keep doing renovations to keep our golf course looking fresh. And the capital equipment replacement is a blower.
That golf course now is one of the nicest municipal courses in the state. Tanya's done a real incredible job with it. Very nice.
It is. It's beautiful out there. I wish the weather would cooperate a little more for them.
Well, we need more rain.
I know, right? We are requesting a slight fee schedule change. That we're increasing the senior rate for 9 holes from the current rate of $16 to $18, and for 18 holes from the current rate of $28 to $30. Next, Monroe Aquatics and Fitness Center. All of these items have been approved or recommended. Treadmill replacements, HVAC replacements, fitness room floor is in need of replacement, a hot water boiler, the locker room floors. The big ticket item up there is the whirlpool renovation and replacement. The current one has been failing for going on 2 years, and we've been doing repairs, but it's just not reliable, and we need to keep it working for our patrons. Building repairs, those are just various pool repair and maintenance. The capital equipment replacements there are a dryer and a water lift. And we'll also paint the water park main slide. Downtown Monroe.
Real quick.
Oh, let me go back.
I just want to, since I see Miss Kathy here, I just want to say what a pleasure it is to work out there and be a part of that. Y'all do a fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
Kathy, you got 22,000 members now, right?
Not quite 22,000 though. This summer maybe. This summer.
Okay.
Downtown Monroe, we funded the Wayfinding. This was presented to council, I think, last month. The months all run together. But this is for the construction of the actual signs to be placed throughout the downtown and the surrounding community. Excluded and delayed are the I'm sorry. Okay. I just wanted to make sure you weren't asking a question.
I was making a comment that highlights had closed. I wonder if they went broke as a chain. Their whole company.
They're closing all 84 stores.
How many?
84.
84.
Wow.
Where are they located at now?
They were downtown. I didn't know they were that big. That's a pretty good size.
Yeah, and we found out about it the day they put the signs up.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Wow.
Excluded and delayed are the street furniture for downtown, the update of our master plan, the roundabout, and the one-way street conversion. That's just the design. And the Morgan Windsor Alley improvements. Stormwater fund. We're including a topo box stand model. We're also including a position in this area. This is a full-time environmental educator, and as it says there, we're doing a cost share with the solid waste fund. So they'll split this person 50-50. This person will handle education efforts regarding environmental issues and recycling. So it'll help both departments tremendously getting the word out about recycling. They are also purchasing a drainage request tracking and ranking system. Construction material and supplies need to be increased, and they're doing an engineering study for some drainage concerns. Delayed are purchase of software for asset management program and a drone survey of streams. Water and sewer fund. This is another piece of the parking lot repair. We're also increasing contract services funding. We have the licensing for Lucity. This is software that was already purchased. It's in the process of being installed for their work order tracking system. Let's see. Some other big items if we skip on down. Dry chemical storage. This is to increase our storage capacities at the water treatment plant. Electrical upgrades for the electric study. This is phase 3. Alternate electrical feed source for the water treatment plant. Let's see. Chemical budget has been increased. Chemical costs just keep rising. The other big ticket item on here is the wastewater treatment plant future expansion. This is the purchase of the land. This is for the big project that we want to do in 2030, the wastewater plant. We are proposing taking the $1.8 million out of the capital reserve fund that we established to accumulate all the funds for this project. The current balance in that fund is $11.8 million. Of course, we'll take 1.8 out of it, but we'll continue to bank money until 2030, till we reach our target of $55 million. We're also funding utility relocations that the city will be responsible for. You'll see these in electric and gas as well. When DOT does the improvements out at Skyway and 74, we'll have to move all of our utilities. We'll upgrade the carbon feed system, and we've got some capital replacements that include a dump truck, CCTV camera system, a belt press, and a dry chemical feeder, and a conduit settlement. I don't know what that one is. Any questions on water and sewer fund? The fee schedule changes are the same rate increases that were proposed per the 15-year rate model, so that we can continue to bank the money to get the $55 million that we'll need for the wastewater plant. We're also increasing administrative and non-construction fees by 1.91%. This is based on the U.S. Bureau of Labor. And construction cost index dictates a 2.92% increase for construction-related fees. These include your capacity fees. And electric fund. The biggest one up top, increase in funding for contract labor. We're still not able to fill the vacant design manager position, and we are contracting the services that this position would handle out to a private firm. So we've included money again to handle that. Subdivision construction has jumped up quite a bit. This is for all the areas that we've annexed, a lot of new subdivisions that'll be coming online. We'll have to construct services to those areas. We're extending the circuit, the 35 kilovolt circuit, from Stafford Street to Camp Sutton. And then a lot of these next items, telecommunications, the AMI, replacing the uptown vaults and switches, replacement of the underground primary, wildlife protection. These are all annual amounts that we fund for these purposes, and then as projects come up in those areas, they're paid from those projects. You see the US DOT 74 widening from Dickerson to Rocky River. We will have to relocate a lot of utilities in that corridor for that widening. We've got the Skyway and 74 Bridge project, as I mentioned. We're doing an expansion out in the corporate center. And the capital equipment replacements include 2 bucket trucks and a mini excavator and a couple of other trucks that needed replacement. The additional storage for energy services, this is a 50-50 split with natural gas. They just need additional storage for their inventory. And this would be a building that we would look to purchase. Any questions on electric? The natural gas fund, our compact excavator purchase. We're adding 2 positions to this utility. The first is a utility services locator. With our expansion all the way to the Anson County line, we'll need a locator to facilitate a lot of that. Just different construction that's going on. We'll also add a full-time gas technician position to handle the increased demand in customers. The widening project from Dickerson to Rocky River Road that NCDOT is doing. We'll need to move the gas lines. And then the next 8 projects are those annual projects that we fund, and they're just ongoing replacements, maintenance, upgrades. All the revenue-based expansion, that's on an as-needed basis. The natural gas department will do an evaluation on the cost-benefit of each expansion. There has to be, 7 or an 8-year payback to make the expansion, move or not move. If it doesn't meet, the cost expectation, if it's not a payback of 100%, then usually the customer will end up footing the difference. The capital equipment replacements are all vehicles. And again, there's that additional storage. That's the cost share with electric. Solid waste fund. There's the other half of the position that we're sharing with stormwater. We did delay the solid waste technician. We will be evaluating this position when we evaluate the new service proposals that were received for the hauler. We've received 2 proposals. If there's going to be any kind of rate change needed to be able to afford the new proposals, we wanted to make sure to include this position, with that evaluation. And
what is this technician? What do they work at? What is the job? What would it do?
A lot of it is answering the call volumes, the customer calls inside City Hall here.
You get that?
Services.
How many we got in that position? That one?
Just one.
They can't answer all the calls we get on that, just on that solid waste?
We get a lot of calls, a lot of complaints.
Well, there's another technician like we've got, is that Miss Laura's job? Mm-hmm. Like Laura does?
Yes.
Instead of having one, have 2, is that what that is?
Correct.
And a part-time one would not be sufficient.
Would a part-time work?
But
It would help. One of the issues we have is that when Lori is out of the office, granted,
How many calls a day do you have, do you know?
Not offhand, but she stays busy all day long responding to calls, and she doesn't have time to go out in the field to look at things. We get a lot of complaints that need to be verified in the field as well, and try to make it more efficient, operation, be more responsible to complaints, concerns we're receiving from customers.
Any other questions on solid waste? The Charlotte Monroe Executive Airport. Short and sweet, just an increase in the mowing cost, replacement for a gas component. We've excluded the awning cover for mobile fuelers and a consultant to evaluate the maintenance hangar.
How much increase was it in the maintenance cost?
Sir?
How much increase was it in the maintenance cost?
$12,000, it went from 67 to about 75, so 79,000. We just have a lot more grass cutting, and to keep getting up to standards for the FAA, especially with the approach lights, we gotta make sure we keep them really cut really short,
Okay, it says here,
keeping all fences.
cost increase. Okay, more cost.
Yeah, that's just the amount of the
12 to
increase.
17.
Yes, sir. That's the increase itself. The budget was 67, it's up to 79 now.
All right, good, thank you.
That's it for the airport, and that's it for all of the enterprise funds. Where do we go from here? At the next meeting on May 7th, we will present the budget message, adopt the fee schedule. We covered those. There was only a few fee schedule changes, but we'll look to adopt those at the May meeting. We'll also call for the public hearing at the May meeting, which we will hold on June 4th, and we hope to adopt the budget on that day.
And at what time will we know whether we can afford the additional staffing for the police and fire?
Probably not until summer. We'll get the tax files to Bill from Union County sometime in July, maybe August, because they've got a new software program. I think they're struggling with it a little bit. We'll have to,
So if we get that in August, that could be an amendment to the budget.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, item 4, funding for the Monroe cluster schools.
Mayor, members of City Council, the city approved funding for a one-time contribution for Union County Board of Education to support the Monroe cluster of schools through the health sciences program a couple years ago. It was in November of 2017, the amount of $200,000. And Mayor Pro Tem Anderson and Mayor Kilgore have requested council to consider additional funding for that initiative for the same purpose. The current fiscal year, there was no funding allocated. With that, over to the Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem.
We gave them how much that, what?
200,000.
200,000 was what was funded.
And that was a one-time shot at that time?
Yes, it was, if I recall, it was proposed as a one-time allocation, and there was a memorandum of understanding developed that outlined that.
How's that program working out?
We've not gotten a specific report, but just hearing through the community, I believe the superintendent may have come down to our Rotary Club maybe in the last 3 or 4 months and offered an overview of how the schools were doing and their graduation rates. And he touched on, looking at our other Rotarians here, he touched on the successes of the health program. But there's, I couldn't.
Is there any way that we can get somebody to present what they need the money for, what it's going towards, or the successes?
I would defer to the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem. I'm not proposing it.
No, I'm just saying, could we get somebody, I don't.
Well,
conversation
it's
about it,
going, it's going towards some of the salaries that they've
Sure.
got there for their specialist. I've been over there a number of times, and I have been extremely impressed with what I've seen. And I think it's important for us to continue to support our inner city schools.
I agree. The only issue that I have with that is that at Benton Heights Elementary School, they're the School of the Arts, and I feel like the middle school is all about the sciences. I would love to see where they implement some type of art program so that those students would have a place at the middle school. I feel like they've kind of been left behind to where we don't offer anything for the middle grades to where they can have a pathway to go to CATA and be successful in their arts program there. I would love to kind of see if they
Which
have.
I think that's, I agree, I think that's some dialogue that we should definitely have with them.
But you know, Monroe Middle has struggled for a long time, and I thought that was right innovative. The hospital has also jumped on board with this program.
I'm gonna tell you what, those middle school kids, when I went over there to see them in their lab coats and to hear them get up and do their presentations in front of news media, and I mean, I remember going to one of the big events there, and there was news media, there were just, you know, high-ranking officials, and you see those kids get up and do those presentations, and they were doing presentations better than a lot of adults can do. I mean, it was impressive. And I'd just like to see that, the continued success and us continue to support that program.
I just have a couple of questions. First of all, I'd like to know the dollar amount we're talking about, and I'd like to know a little bit about how the program is progressing. I'd like to see the percentages of the kids participating, and just get an update. Thirdly, if they haven't asked for any.
They have asked.
They have asked, what did
Yes.
they ask for?
Maybe they need to
They asked for 200,000 again.
Oh, they did?
I've not received a formal request.
Okay.
Why don't
Through
our
the-
next
through the
council,
grapevine, there's-
why don't at our next council meeting, we have somebody come bring us up to speed on how successful it's been, and then we can make our decision.
I think so. I think that'd be great.
Yep.
Okay. We'll have somebody to be here then. Mr. Larry, if you take care of that, sir. Yes, sir. Also, in the past, I've had some conversation with some council folks, and one particular, interested in talking about a retreat, wanting a retreat, or talk about, we used to have retreats, and the last couple of years, we haven't done a retreat, and somebody wanted me to bring it back up and maybe get some discussion on it and see what they're feeling with the other folks. Mr. McGee, I'll refer to you.
I think that's very important that we do that, especially with the new council members as myself and Mr. Holloway, so that we can all talk about the direction of the city. I think the staff, they do a great job, but I think sometimes there's a gap in what's expected from council and what you guys are doing, and I think collectively we can have a discussion and move in a better direction if everybody's on the same page with our plans for the city. And I think a retreat will give us that opportunity to kind of have some discussion and get that started again. So that was my thinking about doing it. I thought we had done it in the past when I was employee here, but I haven't seen that lately. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to kind of get those conversations started.
I see a need for one if it's, you know, like a less formal setting, and work on some issues, you know, and sort of get on one page, all of us. So I can see that it could do some good.
Any other discussion?
I think it's a good idea, as Frankie was just saying. I think it'd also be a good idea to have just some council time, not necessarily to discuss city business, but just to have maybe a cookout or just a fellowship evening maybe sometime.
Okay. I'll ask Larry to look at it, look at some dates, and come up with something that the council may want to do or vote on or whatever, and lay it out. We'll have something to propose to the council, and if that's what they'd like to do, it'd be a good thing.
Sounds good.
Okay, does any council have anything else? Mr. Larry, you have?
I think that's it.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion, do I have a second? Second. All in favor? We adjourn. Thank you very much. Thank you, staff, folks. Appreciate y'all coming.